As per introduction, I'm from Uganda. I bring you warmest greetings from Africa, a continent of peace. Peace, justice, and security, as it sounds clear, straightforward, but to some, to majority of human race, peace might be a distant reality. War might be the closest reality. Meanwhile, justice might seem foreign. This is the reality that exists around the world. If you ask some, what is security? They might think security is America. What is justice? They might think justice is Hague. What is war, poverty, suffering? They will think about Africa, Asia, Middle East. This is the world we are in. I come from a society that has been through war. I lived in conflict for over 21 years. I lived in internally displaced people's camp. When I stand here to talk, I do not talk about what I studied. I don't talk about what I researched or what I watched in the television. I talked about the life I lived, the struggle I made, the journey I took from where I was born to where I'm standing today. It is my sincere hope that as we move on, in years after years of global commitments to protection and support of fellow human, that we once will realize that it's okay to intervene, supporting the refugee trying to cross from Africa to Europe in the middle of water. But that support could have been given in the land. So where is the world aiding to? The world is pretty much ready with a massive amount of resources to intervene, to respond in the next humanitarian crisis. But how much are they working towards preventing that humanitarian crisis? The world is committed to world peace and security by embarking and mobilizing enough and massive resources for peacekeeping mission. But how much are they giving for peace-building mission? Almost none. The world we are living in considers them as them, not us. War is a distant reality to many. Not until the world realizes that war we are talking about is not far away. We may not seem interested and committed in bringing an end to the suffering. I formed an organization called African Youth Initiative Network after years of suffering, after losing friends every new day, without hope, going on 1 meal a day for over 7 years in the world of mass resources, wondering when our suffering would end. This was the conviction that led me to say, I need to look up to myself. I need to engage my fellow young people, to look up to ourselves, and to know that, for sure, if we think about solution, we're the #1 point of solution. And to date, I'm happy our initiative has helped provided remedies and redress to victims of human rights violations, victims of war, those whose lips, nose, ears were cut off. We have provided reconstructive surgical repairs to over 9,000 of these victims. We continue to pursue how to mobilize the young generation to create a cohesion and reconciliation at the right stage in their leadership role. Meaning at a point when they're transitioning into a society where they play a role, we need to nurture the culture of reconciliation. We need to plant the seeds of peace. And right now, from the dream we started many years ago, 11 years ago, today in response to the global commitments under the Sustainable Development Goals, we have come up with what we are calling Peace Generation. The Peace Generation is because we think this generation is because of the previous generation. The future generation will because of the present generation. Every generation, we have an obligation to work for the next generation. If we can work together through Peace Generation, we want to create a peace movement, a global peace movement. We want to start from Africa, Coalition for Peace in Africa. We need to plant the seeds of peace in young people. Let every child know that I am born for peace, not born for war. Let every parent know that I am parenting peace, not parenting war. That is under peace movement. We need to work towards making diplomacy local. We don't need to wait for when Hague, Geneva, or New York decides on what to do with the fighting in Congo. We need to have the community ready to prevent, so that maybe as we work towards creating a culture of diplomacy, tolerance, and mediations and reconciliation, we will scale down the numbers of refugees by 40% in the next 3 or 4 years. This is what we're working towards. Let us think about humanitarian situation, not with American lens, not with European lens, not with African lens. Let us think about it with human lens. Let's look at it with the focus that can we work towards preventing humanitarian crisis more than we work towards responding to the crisis. This is what we can do. This is what the new generation can do. I believe in the young generation because they're the people with integrity. They're the people whose hearts are still in the right places. Thank you very much.